भूमि की इस दुनिया में श्रम सबको करना पड़ता है। कर्म भूमि की इस दुनिया में श्रम सबको करना पड़ता है। इसे सिर्फ लकीरें देते रंग खुद ही पड़ता है। हेलो एंड गुड एवरीवन, होप दैट यू आर वेरी वेल। आई एम मनी कुशवाहा, BSc ऑनर्स, सेकेंड ईयर स्टूडेंट फ्रॉम इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ साइंस बंगाल यूनिवर्सिटी। आज के ऑनलाइन लेक्चर सेशन में मैं बनारस हिंदू यूनिवर्सिटी डिस्कोर्स सोसाइटी की तरफ से प्रोफेसर अजयलू निमाई मैम एंड आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। यदि मैं डिस्कोर्स सोसाइटी के बारे में थोड़ा तो डिस्कोर्स इज अ सोसाइटी ऑफ यूनिवर्सिटी in which student can improve your knowledge, skill, personality, etc. This course majorly conducts currently in science mode. Today in our online lecture session, the topic is the sociology of Indian diaspora. Professor Ajailiu Niumai ma'am will explain this topic and its various aspects in easy way. I'm delighted to have you with today. For those who may not know Professor Niumai, so I bring Niumai, former head of CSSCIT of Hyderabad. She is a pioneer in established the University of Hyderabad. She is the pioneer established the Center for Women Studies in 2000. Of eminence 2022 to 2025. मैम के बारे में थोड़ा सा और कर दूं तो मैम 2020 से 2023 तक नागालैंड के डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ साइंस की सहायक प्रोफेसर भी रही हैं। यदि मैं मैम के बारे में थोड़ा और हिस्ट्री जाऊं और थोड़ा हिस्ट्री के बारे में बात करूं तो मैम ने अपना ग्रेजुएशन दिल्ली में इन सोशियोलॉजी ऑनर्स में किया है। एमफिल ये सारी डिग्रियां सोशियोलॉजी फ्रॉम JNU से करता है। तो मैम के बारे में थोड़ा एक बात और निकल करके आती है। She is the first Nago tribal woman to be awarded PhD in sociology from JNU. The first woman to be Prof. University of Hyderabad 2017. Ma'am also completed her postdoc from University of Lava, USA 2014. वैसे तो मैम ने बहुत सारे पेपर ऑलरेडी लिख रखा है जिनका सभी का नाम तो यहाँ पर नहीं लिया जा सकता, लेकिन मैं कुछ का नाम लेना चाहूँगा। जैसे मैम का रिसर्च पड़ता है जेंडर स्टडीज, इंडियन डायस्पोरा एंड माइग्रेशन, नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया स्टडीज, NGOs एंड डेवलपमेंट। So it is very big opportunity that Professor Ajailiu Niumai ma'am has come among us. So दोस्तों, सेशन स्टार्ट होने से पहले मैं आप सभी को बता दूं कि भले ही हम लोग ऑनलाइन मोड पर हैं, लेकिन हमें स्टूडेंट की मर्यादा को बनाए रखना है। इसलिए आप सभी से एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि सेशन के दौरान आप लोग अपना माइक और कैमरा को ओपन नहीं करेंगे और आप लोग के द्वारा भेजे गए क्वेश्चन तो हमारे पास आ चुके हैं जिसको हम मैम तक फॉरवर्ड कर देंगे। फिर भी अगर सेशन के दौरान आपका कोई डाउट आता है तो आप लोग चैट बॉक्स का यूज कर सकते हैं। सो विदाउट फर्दर डिले, let's welcome Professor Niumai ma'am to the session. Please welcome ma'am and to continue.
Thank you, and also the entire student leaders team of the Discourse from BHU. It is my pleasure to talk today about the sociology of Indian diaspora. I will mix both Hindi and English in my lecture. I can speak Hindi, but I don't speak chess Hindi. So I would like to mix with both Hindi and English. Having said that, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, shukriya for inviting me. I would like to emphasize that. Coming to my talk, Sociology of Indian Diaspora. Let me say that first time when I heard about Indian diaspora was in 2006. उस टाइम पे पारबसी दिवस हैदराबाद पे होस्ट किया है और हमारा यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ हैदराबाद पे इंडियाज फर्स्ट सेंटर फॉर इंडियन डायस्पोरा स्टडीज उसका फाउंडर है चंद्रशेखर भट्ट, प्रोफेसर चंद्रशेखर भट्ट साहब डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ सोशियोलॉजी का हेड भी था। उस टाइम पे मैं लेक्चरर था डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ सोशियोलॉजी और भट्ट सर ने मुझे रेपेट्योर के लिए रिक्वेस्ट किया था प्रवासी भारतीय दिवस पे। So that was the time when I learned about diaspora. And as I involved myself in that Paravasi Bharatiya Divas in high-tech city, Hyderabad, 1000 लोग आया था प्रवासी भारतीय दिवस पे और मैंने सोचा कि 1000 लोग यहाँ पे आके देश के लिए बहुत कमिटमेंट शो किया है, देश के लिए बहुत प्यार से इन्वेस्टमेंट किया है। And I began to think that they're doing a marvelous job for the nation building, हमारा देश भारत के लिए। Another question that arises in my mind is, Northeast diaspora तो कहाँ है? पंजाबी डायस्पोरा, तमिल डायस्पोरा, तेलुगु डायस्पोरा, बिहार का डायस्पोरा, यूपी का डायस्पोरा, सब देश का डायस्पोरा आया था। There are people who are presidents in other countries of Indian origin. लेकिन मैंने नॉर्थ ईस्ट इंडिया का डायस्पोरा तो मिलता नहीं 2006-2007 पे। You know, so I began to feel that I need to do something about it because there's a research gap. You know, as a PhD student or MA students who wants to do PhD in research on diaspora, I think what is important is we need to look at the research gap. How to identify research gap. So here in 2006, मैंने research gap देखा है. And that's how I began my journey of doing research on Indian diaspora. अभी 2024 पे 18 साल हो गया, 18 years हो गया है. Now, the question here is, what is sociology of Indian diaspora? What is sociology? We all know. Sociology is a study of our social systems, our society. We are the ones who understand the social concerns, the problems and challenges of our society. Just like doctors prescribe medicine, अगर हम बीमार हैं तो डॉक्टर के पास जाते हैं, you know, or if we believe in Ayurveda, we go to Ayurvedic doctor or homeopathic doctor or allopathic doctor. Prescription लेके हमारा बीमार disease is identified through different tests, blood tests, urine tests, or MRI, or whatever tests. डॉक्टर ने जो prescribe किया है वो हम लोग लेके medicine दवाई लेके, you know, we have that medicine, and then उसका बाद ठीक होगा तो बढ़िया है, अगर ठीक नहीं हुआ तो we change our doctors or we go back to a doctor. Sociology so the role of sociologists is to understand the social problems, the challenges that we face in our society, and bring about solution to the problem. वो हमारा धर्म है. Sociologist का धर्म क्या है बोले तो we identify the social concerns, the problems, and prescribe the solution to bring about, social equality or harmony in the society. Now, what is this sociology of society? The sociology of Indian diaspora. Sociology of Indian diaspora is the study of how people of Indian origin who are living outside India in any part of the world navigate their identity as Indian, or navigate their dual identity, because in the Parvasi Bharatiya Divas dual citizenship bhi diya tha. Dual citizenship log, suppose somebody from Canada has been given dual citizenship, they can cast their votes in Canada, and India pe bhi ho sakte hain. They can cast their votes in India also. So they navigate their identity. Sociology of the Indian diaspora is the study of how Indian origin people navigate their identities. And cultural practices maybe of festivals like celebration of Diwali, celebration of Holi, or any other cultural practices. Also contributes economically, philanthropy, believes and practices philanthropy. And of course, contributes politically in their host country as well as in the country of origin. In India, Bharat pe, and engage in diverse experiences and interact in the diverse global context. I work mostly on the American diaspora. मैंने तीन आर्टिकल्स लिखा है. मेरा पूरा 3 आर्टिकल है. एक तो इंडियन डायस्पोरा एंड फिलैंथ्रोपी था, 2011 पे पब्लिश हुआ, International Anthropological Journal, Man in India. Second one is on the Manipuri diaspora in USA, or the Routledge Handbook of Asian Diaspora and Development, edited by my colleague Ajay Sahu. COVID time पे वो publish हुआ है. And 2024 पे Nagaland diaspora का article publish अभी हुआ, अभी University of Edinburgh, UK, the great, the rise of Great America बोल के, the title of the book, So my work has been confined mostly in the United States. And I must tell you that those Indians who are overseas, outside, they are very interested in the politics of our country as sociology, discourse of Indian diaspora. Now, who are these Indian diaspora? There are 3 things that we have to remember in the context of a discourse on Indian diaspora. Number 1 is, they are known as PIO, persons of Indian origin, PIO. Who are these PIOs? PIOs, persons of Indian origin. They are applied to, the term is applied to a foreign citizen of Indian origin. They may be 2nd generation, 3rd generation, 4th generation, or 5th generation. People of Indian origin may not necessarily be born in India. Their great-great-grandparents may have gone as indentured laborers from Bihar or from UP, Eastern UP, or from Maharashtra or Punjab, or even from Tamil Nadu or from Andhra Pradesh, So they are the people of Indian origin who have been living abroad for many, many centuries. That is number 1. Now, number 2 category of Indian diaspora is NRI. I'm sure all of you have heard of NRI, non-resident Indians. Who are these people? They are actually Indians who are born in India, but migrated to other countries. They travel to other countries holding Indian passports. People of Indian origin may not have Indian passport, but NRI, non-resident Indians, are the ones who have Indian passport. I hope you have a clarity between the PIO and the NRI. NRIs have Indian passports and they travel and reside in other countries for employment or for carrying out any business or even for vocation or any other purposes. Number 3 is OCI. OCI लोग कौन है? OCI मतलब Overseas Citizenship of India. They are people of Indian origin. There are 2 groups of people in OCI, Overseas Citizenship of India. One group is people of Indian origin. And second group is people who are foreigners but married to Indian women or Indian men, Indian spouse. Now, OCI status, Overseas Citizenship of India, is a permanent visa for visiting India with a foreign passport or to live in India with a foreign passport. तो उन लोग का वीजा पहले रिन्यू करते हैं after every few years, Ministry of External Affairs पे जाके. But now the Modi government have changed in which the person doesn't have. Now, the Indian diaspora are around 32.2 million people. That is huge. And every year, 25 lakh, 25 lakh Indians migrate overseas, which is the highest annual number of migrants in the world. Second is, I think, Russia, and third is Mexico after India. So India has the highest and the world's biggest diaspora population, making it the top origin country globally, according to the World Migration Report of 2022. The diaspora diversity grew out of a variety of causes, like, for example, trade or mercantilism. दूसरा factor है colonialism, और तीसरा है globalization. And over several years, hundreds of years of migration in different ways. Migration, diaspora is a term that emerged from the study of the Jewish people. Israel se scattered hua tha more than a few thousand years back. So when we say diaspora, I mean the term is traced to Israel, the Jewish people. Now let me not go into Jewish people, because Jewish, there's so much of controversy about the Jewish nation and the Palestinian nations. But it is a fact that when we talk of the word diaspora, we trace to the Jewish diaspora. Now, some of the Indian diaspora have become remarkable people at the global level in the social, economic, and political spheres. Some of our diaspora have hold political big positions. In many countries like Fiji Island, or even in Malaysia, and many other countries, Mauritius, Indian origin people hold big political positions. The mounting influence of the Indian diaspora community in the contemporary society has been remarkable. The former Prime Minister, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, led coalition government form a high-level committee on the Indian diaspora, which was appointed by the Ministry of External Affairs in 2000. Abhi 24 years ho gaya hai. And this high-level committee was formed under the chairmanship of Dr. L.V. Singhvi, the member of parliament then, who's also a very, very, very famous advocate, a lawyer, and former High Commissioner of India to the United Kingdom. This high-level committee acknowledged that the Indian diasporic community has been returning to India in order to seek their roots and explore new avenues and sectors for mutually beneficial interaction, from investment to exchange of skills, cultural exchange, and technology, to absolute philanthropy and charitable activities. The appointment of a high-level committee by the Ministry of External Affairs on Diaspora actually heralded a new era in showing the government of India concern towards its diaspora. So various path-breaking recommendations apart, the committee in its report also made country-wise population estimates of the Indian diaspora, which was also the first major exercise of its kind on the part of the government. So Indians have a long historical legacy of migration to different parts of the world. Diaspora developed gradually during the 19th century and 20th century, when immigration of indentured and contract laborers, traders, professionals, students took place to the British, French, Dutch, and Portuguese colonies in Asia, in Africa, in Caribbean island, and Far Eastern countries. There are various factors responsible for migration of people to other countries and the formation of diaspora as an identity. I'm going to talk about the waves of migration. People usually say, the scholars have been saying, there are three important waves of migration. Migration of Indians can be categorized into three periods. First period is the ancient period. Second is the colonial period. And the third is the contemporary period. Now, when we look at the first period, the first wave, migration of traders took place, which resulted in Indian coastal communities developing profitable ties with East Asia, Southeast Asia, East Africa, and Central Asia in pre-colonial times. Very interesting, when we look at African nations, like Kenya, for example. I mean, Indians were there for more than 100 of years in Africa. So they have, in fact, the black Africans have acculturated some of the cultural practices like food habits of India. I met some of them in United States when I was studying there. Africans eat a lot of roti. Roti ko bahut pasand hote hai. Aur haldiram ka khana bhi bahut pasand aate hai. When I asked them, they said, oh, my mother, my grandfather loves Indian food because of our association with Indians. So what I'm trying to say is how the traders in the first period, in the ancient, gone to different countries in Africa, in Central Asia, in East Asia, and Southeast Asian countries. And, they some of them stayed back. They never come back to India. Bharat pe wapas nahi aaye wo log. They stayed in the foreign country. And so they have the second generation, third generation, fourth, fifth generation today. So that is the first wave. India se. Malaysia, Malaysian Tamil indentured laborers have been a sociological attraction. Especially JNU का professor है R.K. Jain. उसने seminal work conduct किया था. Indentured Tamil laborers who migrated to Malaysia to work for plantations. 20 years, Tamil Malay Congress is one of the strongest opposition party in Malaysia. Now, this is the second wave, impact of the second wave migration. Malaysia, Mauritius, Trinidad, Jamaica, Suriname, Fiji, even Burma, Myanmar. Myanmar पे आज तक तमिल डायस्पोरा और तेलुगु डायस्पोरा आज तक भी बर्मा पे है, म्यांमार पे है और मणिपुर बॉर्डर पे है. For more than 100 years. They have Tamil Sangam. East Africa, even in second wave. Canada, Thailand, among many others. Abolition of slavery in India in 1833 during the British rule actually led to a huge demand for unskilled and cheap laborers from India in the plantation economies of many of these British colonies. So the indentured labor system formally, came into existence in 1834 and lasted until its abolition through legislation in 1990. Now, the third wave, that is the post-colonial. हमारा देश 1947 अगस्त 15 पे independence मिला था. Now, third wave is after 1947. So it involved migration after the Second World War and after the India's independence. When refugees migrated after the partition of India and Pakistan, 1947 के बाद, and Bangladesh War of Independence in 1971, and then Sri Lankan Civil War. Now, Sri Lankan Civil War between the Sinhalese and the Tamils, Sri Lankan Tamils, have pushed thousands of Tamilians as refugees to migrate to many countries, especially in Europe, and some of them were pushed to migrate to Tamil Nadu. Many of them are in Coimbatore region today as refugees without having Aadhaar card, without having Indian citizenship. They are not Indian citizens and they don't want to go back to Sri Lanka because Sri Lanka pe bhi problem hai unka. Aaj tak. Sri Lankans don't accept them as Sri Lankans, pure Sri Lankans. So these are people who are sandwiched between Sri Lanka and India. And this third wave have pushed many people like this, for example, Tamilian refugees, to migrate to different parts of the world, including Tamil Nadu, inside India. They're unrestricted Commonwealth people to enter, live, work, vote, and hold public offices in United under the post-colonial ties, which contributed